Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Abdullah Olabi, the Director of Capacity Building, BOMSA, and I welcome you all to our first episode of our new series where we'll be interviewing the best of the best. And here with me is the overall best graduating student, Dr. Abubakar Ismail. You
Thank,
are welcome to the show, sir.
thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. First, we'd like to start with a lot of people enter medical school just thinking of, okay, let me enter and let me just pass. Or they come with the mindset that, okay, I want to be the best. Then as they go on, they now realize that being the best is not possible. Let me just aim for 50%. So when did that 50% just stop being enough for you? When did you decide to become the overall best graduating student?
All right, thank you very much for having me. Like I said, uh, but first, let me say, am I really the best among the best? I think it's just an opportunity that God gave me. Alhamdulillah, in medical school, you have a lot of smart people. I always say that this is a bounty from God that's Hazan min fadli Rabbi, and He gives to whomsoever He wishes. So if 3 years ago, if you asked me that, do I feel that I will be the best graduate student? My answer would be I doubt. But then I have this perception that I think I've always tell people that in any posting you find yourself, you should try and be the best version of yourself, not really the best in your class, because you can be the best in your class, but then that's not the best version of yourself. So that's why in any posting I find myself, I try as much as possible to see that I am the best version of my self actually. So starting to be very honest, I didn't really thought that I would be the best graduate student. But then Alhamdulillah, here I am being the best. So I can't really say at what point that I had the paradigm shift. I can't really see when I had that.
Well, there's a popular misconception, or will I say it a is it really a misconception in medical school that politics or extracurricular activities equals academic suicide and you fail in your academics? How would you justify you participating in politics, in leadership? You were at the VP of NACAMS and you later became the president. You took up several roles in BOMSA and the Nigerian Medical Students Association. How do you justify taking up leadership roles when your colleagues were in the library?
All right. So I always tell people that at the end of the day, we're all going to graduate with an unclassified degree. But then the most important thing is what value are you going to add to that medical degree? Because there are things that you have to learn them outside the world of the words, outside the world of class. And these are the things that you learn them by engaging in extracurricular activities. Throughout my journey in medical school, I think the only class that I didn't participate in any political activity, I think, is year one. In year two, I was national deputy director of Scope. Year three, I held three positions. Year four, it was a continuation of year three. Then from year four, also, I was the national vice president of National Association of Personal State Medical Students. Year five to year six, I was the president. So that's what I tell people, that you have to go outside and learn some things, because there are some things that are beyond the world of medical school. But the most important thing is to know the academics is your primary assignment. If you know it's your primary assignment, then you're not going to lose focus. You're going to have to know that, okay, this is my primary assignment. This is my secondary assignment. That's the politics. If you do that, it means your priority will be the primary assignment, the academics. Then at your free time when you are free, then you use that time for your secondary activities, to do the other extracurricular activities. And it's not really that when your peers are you say that, okay, your peers are in the library while you are there doing something that's not right. You have to know, okay, who you are. It's very important, because it's possible that you can read for 3 hours and then that's enough for you. Someone has to read for 6 hours. So the key point here is you have to know when you're who you are, and then what you can take, what you cannot take. If you know you are someone that you cannot participate in politics and also do combine it with your studies, then I will advise you maybe you step back and then do other things. And if you know you're someone okay that can take one or two positions, then I think it's good for you to participate. So the key point here is you have to know your primary assignment and then you have to know the secondary assignment.
Well, you spoke about knowing yourself and knowing if you're a person that can shift from being focused on academics to leadership. This process of knowing yourself, is there any tip or trick you can tell us about it, or is it just a matter of trial and error? This video is proudly sponsored by Saleem Medix, your one stop shop for scrubs, lab coats, suits, medical gadgets, engraving services, stationaries, sketchers, crocs, textbooks and jotters, and backpacks.
To be very honest, I feel for everyone, it depends. You have to individualize. Some people know that okay, for instance, your friend might tell you I'm a visual learner. Someone will tell you I have maybe auditory learning skills. So yeah, some people maybe they've discovered it right from when they were in secondary school, while some it's after they join university that okay they realize okay this is who I am. While for some is after maybe they've failed or they've experienced some downfall that they realize okay this skill is not working for me. I have to switch to another skill. So I feel there is no single best recipe to find out who you are, but then you just sit with yourself and then have an honest conversation with yourself and then you can realize what works for me and then what doesn't work for me. I think that's one of the ways you can use to find your true identity.
Has there been any time that your engagements in all these leadership activities puts you in a tight position academically?
To be very honest, I don't think so, because like I said, I always have a schedule of when I do things. If I know, okay, this is the time for me to give academics 100%, then I have to keep the politics and then all other extracurricular activities aside. Because that was the time I was the project officer for Youth Against HIV. When exams was approaching, I had to take a leave. I told them I'm having exams, so I will take a leave. And afterwards, then I came back and then we continued the project.
I think what I just got from what you said now is what I've been seeing really online, but we don't understand the depth, and that is the power of saying no, the power of saying that okay, this is the time when I must focus on what I have at hand. And apart from that, the act of saying no, is there any other tool that you have used to manage your time between these two aspects of your life, between leadership and academics?
Like I said, schedule, and Alhamdulillah, most of the position I held, I think I was at the helm of affairs. So it means I tend to have opportunity to schedule things when I want to do them. So I will schedule most of my activities when I'm on a holiday or when I'm not doing anything. So that's when I usually do things. But like I said, you have to have a schedule. You have to know when to do this, when not to do this. It's very important.
But has there ever been a time where that activity, as you said, you have been at the helm of affairs and that gave you the opportunity to schedule things? But has there ever been a time when you were rising up that you really didn't have that opportunity to say, okay, I want this done by this time, but it was expected of you that you should do this by today or tomorrow, and maybe you had tests, you had exam that next tomorrow or today? How did you handle that situation?
So usually, you have 24 hours, and in 24 hours is it's not possible for you to read the whole 24 hours. You have to sleep. You have to read. You have, so there are definitely hours that you have that you have to that are flexible, meaning you can do things. So you can spare like 30 minutes in a day if it's really urgent or pressing matter, and you spare the 30 minutes in a day, and then I feel you can do that thing. And we have to avoid procrastination, because sometimes you can have the 30 minutes, but then you'll just be on your phone, maybe doing something.
Hmm.
So that's one of the things. If I know I have something really urgent, I will try as much as possible. If I have a free time, attend to that thing and then clear it off.
1 month before your MB exam, can you take me through the average 24-hour day? How do you manage? How is your life like? How chaotic is it?
All right, so let me start from morning. So usually I wake up around Subi, then I'll first pray to my Lord and do my other prayers and then other things. So immediately after that, I will read before I come to class. So usually, and I'll come to class 8 or before time. I always try as much as possible to come to class maybe like 5 minutes or 15 minutes before time. That's my role. After that, after the class, I will usually go out in the afternoon. Then I'll sit with my colleagues, maybe have a discussion with them on some academic matters. If not discussing with them, then I will maybe be just having a gist with them, because sometimes you have to clear your head. Then in the evening, usually sometimes I'm not really busy in the evening also. So you just see me sitting with friends, sometimes discussing, maybe just chatting. Then from 8 to 9, usually there is a group we call the Raptors. It was named after me because I'm the Raptor. So the Raptors is a group where we do have discussions. We will discuss on a lot of things, medicine, surgery, and then community medicine. We take past questions, we take on clinical cases, and then we start from A to Z. So after that, it's from 8 to 9. Then from 9 to 10 or 9 to 11, that's when I will read. By 11, because my bedtime as a rule is 11. By 11, regardless of what I'm doing, I will sleep. But then when exam was really around the corner, I think maybe 11:30 to 12. But then I don't think I've passed
No
12.
TDV.
Yes, no TD, because I don't believe in it.
Hmm. By the way, can you take me through how did the name? Because the first time I learned about the name Raptor, Raptor, why Raptor? Is it maybe you love dinosaurs as a child, or there's? Can you take me through the story behind
It's
it?
actually a stage name, because I write poetry, I write articles.
Oh,
So initially I was hiding with the Raptor, because starting something, it's not easy to really come out and say, okay, I'm this person. So I was using the Raptor to hide as a stage name.
mm.
If I write something, I will be okay. The Raptor writes something like that. So that's how the name came about.
Wow. What piece of standard medical advice do you think is a complete lie and nobody should pay attention
Wow.
to?
I can't really say. Maybe I've not come across any medical life. To be very honest, I can't really say. But
You,
but but then the most important thing is, it's all about perspective. Something might be a lie to you, but then to another person, it's not really a lie. So
mm.
I think it's really important.
And that brings us back to what you said about knowing yourself.
Yes.
In medical school, we're often faced with topics that we might not understand, even when the lecturer spends 1 hour beating about the bush about it. How do you approach these topics that you don't understand?
Okay. One of the first thing that I always tell people is your foundation has to be good. You have to understand what is the normal. If you don't really understand the normal, if you're talking about the abnormal, you might not really comprehend. So in any topic you find it really tough to understand, I think you need to go back to your basic clinical and then basic medical sciences, and then you try and understand what is the normal process. How is the normal process? So if you understand the normal process, then you now come back and then you correlate it with the pathology. Because in everything, if you understand how things are going, how it happens, why it happens, I think it makes things really easy for you to remember and then to understand.
Hmm.
Then you also have to teach people, because One of the things, one of my, I think my very important learning skill is teaching people, discussing with people. It's really important because I think what you teach someone, I think it sticks more than what you just go and read, because you're going to remember the discussion you have, and also you're going to also hear their perspective, and then you're going to learn more, because it's possible that what you thought it's even wrong, but then if you have a discussion with them, you understand, oh, this is not how it is, it's supposed to be this.
For you spoke about going back to the basics. I think the pathology, the pharmacology, and you were the overall best in medicine and surgery. Can you take us through, okay, what textbooks have you been using for these topics? In surgery, giving an example of surgery, we're told by our lecturers use Bido, use Billy and Love. And when they ask, okay, what textbook are you using? We say the guide. So, so what textbooks did you use, or what material did you use for these subjects, especially medicine and surgery?
For medicine, I used Clark and Kumar. That's my textbook. Then I will sometimes use Davidson, but then I prefer to read Clark and Kumar. For clinical methods, I used McLeod and then Hutchinson. The guide, I'm not really a fan of the guide, to be very honest, but I'm not saying it's not a good book. I'm not discouraging anyone to use it. But when I usually use the guide when I have like a week to exams, because okay, when I want to gather my thoughts, and then if I want to know how to how to just answer this question, that's when I use the guide. But I'm not really a fan of the guide.
Then
Then
for
for surgery, I use Bajada's Bido, and then I used this book, Bailey and Love. But Bailey and Love not that much. I prefer to use Baja. Then I've also used Norman Browse for clinical methods for surgery. Then there's this clinical methods. I can't really remember the name of the exact name of the book, but it's a clinical method book. It's really good. I've also used that book.
let's say today you finish a class on maybe a medicine topic. I won't pick any specific one. Okay, let's say hypertension. Now, what methods will you take? You've already mentioned the textbooks that you use, but how often do you use it? And what other things do you do to make sure you retain the knowledge on that topic?
I think the, Clark and Kumar, I think is among my best friend. I think it's among my best friends because I usually used to read it every day. And then Robinson also Robin, sorry, that's pathology. Even when we were about to write exams, I usually used to refer to Robbins, that's pathology, to read it. So that's how you go about it. But then, like I said, the most important thing is to know who you are. Sometimes I might read something maybe once and then that's it. It might stick. Sometimes I have to read it. So it all depends. Like I said.
Did you use any videos or maybe the notes from class or slides? Were they part of your process?
Yes, you like I said, you have to read your the materials given to you by your faculty, because that's the baseline, that's the beginning. You have to read and then understand the materials they give you before you go to any other material. It's very important to know that. Videos, I'm not really a fan of video because the problem is I cannot sit for long. So even if I'm watching a video, it's usually at times two, because I can't sit for long and then watch video. So that's why I'm not really a fan of video. Then I usually refer to some articles, research papers, and then read things, go through them, and then read things on them.
On days you didn't feel like showing up because at some point all of us get tired. What system did you put in place, or what do you just do when you just felt like I don't want to read today?
The question is,
Or have you never experienced that?
I think yes, yes,
Wow.
but then I will say probably yes, discipline, because my mantra has always been Always when I'm reading something, one of the things in my mind is, even today, is you don't really know who this thing you are reading is going to save. You don't know whose life this thing is going to save. So that's why every day I try as much as possible to come and then learn one or two things.
So that means that as you were studying, you didn't just study for, because we know there's a popular saying, right? That especially from starting from preclinicals, the kids more the Indian textbook versus the English textbook comparison. People will say if you read the English textbook, you have stuff, but you'll not be able to put down that that stuff. And coming to clinicals, we see more of our lecturers praising that kit more that we avoided. So, what was your mindset when reading? Did you just read? Okay, as you said, what's life? You are reading because that thing that you read can save a life. But were there points in time where you just read because you have to pass, not that you have to keep this knowledge in your head?
To be very honest, I don't think so, because I truly enjoy reading. And when I'm doing medicine, or when I'm reading something, or most probably when I'm in the wards or doing things, even when I'm really stressed, it seems like I get relieved. But if I'm angry, sometimes I just forget about the world and then I escape the reality, and then I'll be in medicine. So I really enjoyed the process, truly. So I think that's what I will say at this juncture.
Can we go deeper and can you tell me about a period when maybe things were not working either academically or in leadership, and how did you move past that? How did you solve that problem?
I don't think I've maybe experienced that. But even if I've experienced that, I think I have really good friends. Maybe that's why I didn't even notice that
Mm.
that problem. My friends are really good people that are always willing to help me and then pull me through. So maybe that's why I didn't even notice that I'm in a trouble.
You spoke about friends. Is there any tip you can give us on selecting your, especially for those starting up from level one? Is there any tip you can give us from how do you select the circle of people around you, or how do you select who you associate yourself with?
So the first thing that I will tell anyone in selecting your friend is, make sure you select friends that are good, people that are disciplined, people that have good characters, people that have high religious standards. I think if you choose these people, I think that's the best thing that you're ever going to have. And then you have to select people that are really motivated, people that wants to learn. I think you have to do that.
For your balance between leadership, extracurricular activities, and academics, has there been anything you had to sacrifice? You know that, okay, this is the life I'm going to live, and this is one thing that must go.
Wow. Because my life didn't really change. So I can't really say. Yeah, there are some sacrifices. Maybe not really had to go, but then maybe you reduce the hours you spend on that thing, from maybe 5 hours to 2.5 hours, 3 hours to an hour, something like that. Not really had to go completely.
Okay, like would that be just maybe spending time on social media, as you mentioned before, or is there any other thing specifically?
I think I'm really active on social media. Really active. Almost you can say 247 on social
Wow.
media. Yes. So I can't
Okay.
really say uh, mention one thing that had to do.
What inspired you to go into leadership itself? Because you already had, I saw a picture of you and Dr. Abba one time, overrolling from day one. But what now? Because you also mentioned that in level one, you were not really involved in these activities. What now changed your mind to think that, okay, I really need to get into these leadership activities?
All right, I think right from nursery school, I think I was a class captain. Through primary one, two, and three, also I was a class captain. At primary four, I was also I think the timekeeper. JS1, I was also a class captain. I skipped the primary five because I didn't do level five. I didn't do primary five.
Mm.
I just jumped from level four, from primary four to JS1. JS1, I was class captain. JS2, JS3 also. SS1, SS2, I was deputy class captain. While SS3, I was the library prefect. So during my primary days, I still have the certificate. I was given a certificate from Macmillan, company that produces books. On that certificate is written exceptional leadership. I was awarded as the best people in English and exceptional leadership. So I think it's something that I've been doing right from day one. But on joining university, I think I never thought I would come this far in politics. I always tell people that I joined this place, I think, by accident. When I came, my brother was he finished from BUK. He was the Secretary General for Association of Personal State Medical Students. So because of that, I was also pulled into the account. So from there, then many positions, many opportunities started coming, and then I took them.
For politics, what would you say will be one principle, one guiding principle you always stand by, anywhere, anytime?
I think honestly, I think that's it. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with others. I think that's the yeah, that should be your moral compass. Yes.
For the opportunities, we know you have accessed many opportunities through these leadership activities. Can you tell our viewers why do you think, based on your experience, they should go into extracurricular activities? What opportunities can they access through this?
You'll get to know people, and then as people say, your network is your network, and also it gives you this exposure. You meet people with different perspective, different background, and then it makes you to accept everyone, to try and see how you relate with everyone more, and also to give you opportunities like some other soft skills that maybe you're not going to learn in class, maybe like project management, other time management, leadership skills, public speaking. I think it will give you all these opportunities.
A level 100 students or a level 200 students waking up, seeing Dr. Abubakar Ismail being featured on someone's status or in the news as being the overall best student, and pointing and saying, I want to be like him. What are three top habits he or she needs to start building from tomorrow morning?
I think I would say consistency, uh, and then I think one of the things I really believe in is you have to be kind. You have to be kind to everyone. You have to be kind to your peers. You have to be kind to other people outside. It's very important. Then you have to pray. You have to pray. I think these are the three habits that I would tell anyone to try and see they imbibe in them. You have to pray.
If you were to go back to when you were just beginning this medical journey and correct one mistake that you made with the knowledge you have now, you were to go back and correct this mistake, what mistake would you correct?
I don't think I have any mistake that I'm willing to go back and correct. Because one thing with mistakes, if it's possible, if you go back and correct a mistake, then you might not really be where you are now. A mistake leads you to another point. So I'm not really willing to go back and correct any mistake, even if I have one, and I don't think I have a mistake that I'm willing to correct. Maybe the only thing that I might maybe try and see if I can rectify is in year two. One of my friends had issues and got withdrawn. So maybe I would have maybe used more energy in trying to see that that person didn't get that problem.
Well, there you have it, our interview with the overall best graduating student. Dr. Abubakar Ismail, also called the Raptor. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you
I'm
very
really
much.
grateful.
Thank you very much for
Thank you,
having me.
sir.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.